So hello everybody, thanks for joining me here at Night Trade with Steve. Tonight I want to go, or today, tonight, this morning actually, but whenever you're watching it and you're a part of the world, what I want to talk to you about is something I call the wobble. It is what I believe causes more trades to fail than anything else, and the problem is a lot of times we can't recognize them. We don't see when it's happening. So I'm going to show you how I see it, okay? So that it stops me from entering trades that I would think are going to work out. It looks perfectly fine, but for some reason it turns around and goes the other way on me, right? So what I'm calling this is the where do I have that here? I got it somewhere. Where is it? Let's put that up there. There we go. All right, I can get this over here now. All right. So why so many trades fail? And it it's hard. It's a toughie, and you're going to have to work at this, and that's why I say everybody needs 100 hours minimum. You're going to have to work at this so you begin to see it when it happens, okay, as it's happening, and you become suspect of certain things that are happening on the screen. And I began to do that after probably several months, but I'm going to show it to you tonight or today or this morning or whenever you're watching this so that you can begin to see it now. Because the run reversal continuation works except when this happens. Well, I gave you the 5 reasons, right? And this is one of them. 5 trades that I won't enter, right? I talked to you about that, I think. Let's see, we did the last video, which was my weekend review. And I won't be doing one this week because I'm going to Punta Cana as soon as I finish this video, and I'll be there all week. But I did a video that was called the 5 entries that I won't take, or that I won't take, something like that. But there's 5 reasons that I won't enter a trade. And one of them is whenever the trade setup comes in contact with the wobble, because the wobble has this effect on the price action that causes it to act more, if it doesn't act erratic already, more erratic than it otherwise would. So I want to share this with you. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this down. What I'm going to try to do is bring up, let's see, I'm going to try to bring up NinjaTrader here. So I'm going to take this down. Hold on, just bear with me there, guys. Let's see, we'll take that down. Let's see, I think this will do it. There we go. Okay, so this is playback. This is going to be Monday, March the 9th. So just yesterday. Anyway, but there were no trades available this night. It's going to look like there were trades available, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this on and let it go. I'm going to speed this up so that we're not here for 2 hours, because I'm going to run 2 hours on the screen, but we're not going to run 2 hours in this video because I don't have that kind of time. So you see the green line over here. That is, I always put that there. It just kind of reminds me of when I'm, what I'm doing, and, how I'm doing and where I'm going and all that good stuff. But it keeps me from counting candles before the open. Okay, so I got this running at 15 times the regular speed. That's too darn fast. Hold on, guys. I need to back that up. 1 second. Let me do this and fix that. Okay, guys, I had to start this thing over because I had it running too fast, and it was going to go faster than I could keep up with. So that's cool. I just start over. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of my camera. I'm going to turn that off because this price action is going to go down into support. Now, you know that I don't take a trade once, or once it goes down past where we're redlining, past that extreme, and really when it gets to the yellow line, which is the traditional setup for the RSI and for support, or when it goes up high into resistance, I'm just not interested. Okay, I want to find it in the soft sweet spot, and as you can see now, it's the market is just tanking. Right now, if you have information that's going to tell you that the market's going to tank that night, and you want to jump in as soon as it opens, go for it. But please note that you're going to have a pretty good size stop loss, because if you jump in anywhere in here, that wick takes you out. That wick takes you out, because this is 25 ticks. Those are the little right angles that I always set up. But anyway, so the market's going to run down. Okay, it runs down into support, right? And then what I notice is it goes down and it turns around on a dime. Now, you know what? I'm going to pause it real quick for you guys. here's how I create these little zones that I use. Okay. I go up here to tools and I come down where it says region highlight, and that's on the Y axis. And the Y is the horizontal axis, I guess. Right. So, and this elbow is 25 ticks. And so I make it the same width, depth, or whatever you want to call it, as the right angle that I use, and that's 25 ticks. And I'll just go set that down here just to remind me that, okay, the market turned around and it did it for a reason. I don't know why, but it did. Okay. For whatever reason, the big guys who were out there trading, they decided that it got down there and they were no longer interested in selling the market, that they now wanted to buy. They liked that price and they started buying. Okay. So I got this running at 4x. So at 4x, yeah, we should get through this pretty quickly. Okay, that's 1/4 of 2 hours. So that might take about 30 minutes for me to get through this. And you might say, wow, 30 minutes, that's a long time. Well, if you're going to learn to trade, you're going to have to put that aside. Okay, because you're going to invest so much time into making this work that, yeah, you're just going to stop counting minutes and hours, because it's just going to take that. That's why I say you're going to need 100 hours. And if you don't put it in, you're not going to get it out. Or what you get out, you might not like so much. Anyway, so the market just goes up, it turns around, and right now I'm just waiting. I'm just looking, okay? But I notice again that, you know what, it's acting a little bit weird right in this area. And so I'm just going to watch that, okay? Because remember what I said back when I first started sharing this with you guys. The market, the price action, these candles, they're speaking a language to us, and we have to begin to understand, or at least try to understand, what it's talking about. It's saying something. Now, another thing that I do is when the market comes in, I always have these right angles in that green line. That's my go line. When the market comes up here and it turns around also, it did it there. So what I'm going to do is I'll just take this horizontal line here, and I'm just going to place it there just to see if we come back to that, and when we do, how it's going to act. Okay. And then again, I'm just sitting and I'm waiting. I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen. It turned around here. I'm looking at what's happening here, and I'm just gauging. Okay, because I'm not getting any entries. I'm not getting a run that's long enough. I got one that was running up, but it turned right around and went right back down the same way it did down here. It ran down, it turned around, it went right back up. Didn't stop, didn't pause or anything. Okay, so what are they doing? Don't know, but I'm going to just kick back, watch, and see how these guys work. Now, I don't put another one in just yet, okay? But what I'm noticing here is that we stopped here and we stopped here. You see this candle here? Okay, we were pulling down, it pulled back up, and it went down, okay, from here, okay? And if you look straight across, the market came down, it tapped that same spot again. It went down, it came right back up, and it pretty much tapped that approximate same spot. So I'm thinking, well, let me take a look at this. Why don't I just create another one of these? I'll just copy this one. So the market's still running, okay? And I'm just waiting. In the meantime, I'm watching, okay? So I go ahead and I say, well, why don't I just place this thing right about here, right about there? That looks like a good spot, okay? Because we got this going on, I got this going on, and now we just came back up in here, right? And it turned right around. It went up and it got rejected. Now we're coming back down here to the first one that we put up, right? And we have this right here where it turned around. It's like it hit a brick wall and it turned around. Now it comes down here again. You see this white candle came down, it touched, but okay, it pushed right on through. Well, let's see what happens now. Just wait. We don't have not a run long enough for us to look at a trade, but we can watch the market and see how it reacts. So it came back down here. We got only 2, but then look at what happened here. You see that? You see it? It came down, pushed real hard, came right back up, came up, and then right back down, and then it just stalled out here, and it did the same thing when it came down here, or a similar thing when it came down here, just for us to make a mental note. But a mental note is not good enough. Sometimes we need visuals, okay? Because you'll forget, if you're like me, you'll forget that it even happened. And when an entry looks like it's about to come up, then you go, forgot that I saw that before. And since I didn't have anything there to remind me, then I got in a trade and it didn't work out. So that's why I put these things on here. Okay. So it came right down here and it turned around again. Now, does this have anything to do with this? Because sometimes these wobbles, they have like I call it a gravitational pull, right? Okay, like it comes down here and it keeps pulling the price action right back into where it is. So it pulls down here, it bounces off here, and it's going to start to go up again. And it's like a brick wall down here. There's a brick wall here, and it pushes through here, but it comes down here and it hits it again. And you'll probably say, well, Steve, you keep putting these things on here, you're not going to have any trade options or entry opportunities. And you know what? I'd rather not have a trade that I want than a trade or than to have in hand a trade that I don't want. Okay? Because the things that I don't want hurt me, it seems, more than the things that I do want help me. So I put another one down here at the bottom because it turned around on the dime. It came down and hit it once with the blue candle, the white candle, another blue candle here in the middle came down and pulled out, but then another one came down, bounced off of it again. And when it started this blue candle or this white candle, it pushed down a little bit and pulled right out. So it's telling me that, you know what, there's something down here that it doesn't like, or that they're like, it pushed beyond the first brick wall, but it got down here and they said, no, we want to buy here. Okay, it's cheaper here than it was here before. So if we like buying down here, we certainly like to buy down here because the price is cheaper. So they started buying again and they pushed the price up because of all that buying. Now, it came right back up here. You see where we put this thing? Okay, we had this little something going on here, but then when it pulled down, it stopped, it pushed up and pulled down again. You see all this price action here, how it, let's see, it pulled down, it pushed up, and then this blue one, it pushed up, but it came right back down and died. And then the white candle came up here, came right to the top, and then died off again with this blue candle going down. And after all of this, it pushed up again, came all the way down here to this same place, and then it stopped. That should tell us something because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles now that have stopped right at that exact same place. That should be a warning to us, okay? Now, what else is happening here? Looks like something's going on right here in the middle. You see that? So we got to do it again. And like I say, sometimes these things, they occur so much. Now, this is an interesting night. I don't know when I've seen a night where this has happened so much. Because usually when you go back and you look at my 90-day playbacks, you'll see that, there's usually 1 or 2 on the screen. But this is a night that, it happened more than at any other point in time that I can remember. And so here we ended up with it again right here. Now, what is that? That's a lot. That's a lot. And so it has blocked us the entire night. Now, you won't find it. You will find entries or what you think are entries in this night, but none of them will work. And you'll see those coming up in a little bit. Okay, so now you got one here because of what happened here. You see it came down here. It did it again. Let's go back to the top. Okay, we started here. Look at it. It's bouncing around in that area. It does it again. And you won't see this every night, but you'll almost always, you'll see 1 or 2 times that this happens. And you'll see that when I do my playbacks, week after week, and you'll see each night when you'll see these things. But on this night, Monday, the 9th of March, it was just extreme. And so it bounced off here. You see bouncing there. You see it doing it here. And this is what the wobble does. This is what it does. It stops us from making trades. I'm going to pull this down to the bottom of this. I'm looking at this blue candle over here, guys. I want to come down to the bottom of this blue candle, right? Okay. Now that gets all of this happening right in the middle of this thing. And now we got nothing. Okay, I want to speed it up. Well, I don't think I'll need to. It'll be up there in a couple minutes. So it's going to push right back up to this line right here. Okay. And then, or this little zone, this wobble I have up here at the top, it's going to push right back up to that. Excuse me. and it's gonna reject it. But what it's gonna give us when it gets there is a false entry. Okay, you're gonna have what you think is an opportunity, and it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna speed this up just a little bit to get us on up there. Come on. Give me that nice big candle. There we go. See that? So you get up here, and what do you get? You get a nice run and a reversal. And without this here, you're not thinking about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can go all across and count all. There's like 8 rejections. Okay, and so you would look at this. If I don't have this here, I could look at this and think, well, I've been sitting here all night. I need to get a trade in. I mean, I need to make some money, right? And so I got a run, I got a reversal. And so what I'm looking at now, I'll go ahead and put my little green line here because I think I'm going to get an entry if I don't have this here. But with that there, I'm thinking I'm not interested. It's in the wobble, I'm not interested. Okay. But without the wobble here, now I would have entered that trade right there, because it went up, it exceeded the reversal. And now what is it going to do? It's going to turn around and go right back down. It's going to go right back down. And I'll speed it up just to show you that it does. Come on. Because you would be thinking, oh, I got a trade here. No, you don't. You got nothing. You got nothing. Wobble it's something that you're going to have to kind of get a feel for. Nobody can come and put these on your screen for you. But whenever you see price action stop and start in an area on your chart, and it does it again and again, take note of that. These wobbles tend to be about 25 ticks wide. I don't know why it turns out that they are, and I found a trade that works with 25 ticks, but that's just the way it is. Now, so if you had taken that, let's go ahead and copy one of these, and we will paste it. Set it right here. You would have entered right here, and you would have lost that trade. And assuming we were actually trading that night, I would make that yellow or gold or a bright color so that it can be seen against the backdrop. There we go. And that's where you would have lost it. We'll extend it on out so you can see it really easy. Now, it pulled right down here, and you got 1, 2, 3. You got a little bit of a run and a reversal, but I didn't take that one. It would have won. It actually did win, but I didn't take it. Why? Because it's in the wobble. And then you would think, well, Steve, why don't you just take it anyway? Well, if I take that, but I don't take the others, then my rule doesn't matter. I'm just doing whatever I feel like doing whenever something pops up. That's not how you trade. Now, as it turns out, I'm going to just go ahead and spill the beans. This is the only opportunity that you're going to have that night. And it happened within this. And you can say, well, if you hadn't put that there, but we saw this, right? We saw this, over here, these things that are occurring on the screen. So when it got here, I'm thinking, you know what? I'll just wait. Maybe it'll break out and come up here or go way down or whatever, but it'll at some point get out of this soup. But if it doesn't, then there's nothing I can do. I'm not going to take a chance at that. Okay, so it ran down here again, and you got a reversal. Okay, so you think you got another opportunity. You would put that there, and it's going to come down here, and you'd be thinking, oh boy, if it comes down here and puts me in the trade, boy, I got something. Well, let's just see what happens. We'll speed it up again just a little bit so that we're not here all night. I think we're going to get a blue candle here. Yeah, this one's going to turn blue, and you would be thinking, oh, I'm going to enter the trade here. I got an opportunity, all right? But again, remember this, all this that started out at the beginning of the night, and then you come all the way over here, and it comes right down here to this same spot, and you would have entered the trade right here, which means you need to get down here to win. But it went right back in the opposite direction. You see that? And you would have lost. You would have lost again. So we will do another one. Take this, copy it, and paste. Bring it right on down here. And that lost. We'll get our green line out of here because we didn't go anywhere. And so I didn't take that one either. Why? because the setup was in the wobble or the chop or whatever people want to call it. I don't know if there's a real technical name for that. Somebody tell me, but I'm just not fooling with it. And if you see this differently, oh, there is a different way to see this. I'm going to show you when all of this is over. There's a different way. There's a different trade to put on. Okay. Now, I'm going to show it to you, but I want to caution you. Learn, get one thing down first. If you want to go trade the trade that I'm going to show you, then just trade that. That's fine. I mean, I don't win or lose based on what you do, but I'm just sharing with you what I see happening as it relates to these candles and what they are saying to us, okay? And what this market is saying. But it gave you one opportunity here. And I went, well, okay, I didn't take this one because it was certainly, the run, the reversal, and the continuation all inside the wobble. Here we had the run, the reversal, and the continuation all inside the wobble. This one passed, this one failed. So if I'd taken this one, it would not have made sense for me to not take this one, right? They're basically the same thing. And if I get one win and one fail, then I lose. Okay, I'm losing money. Okay, here's another one right here. Okay, so if you want to take your green line and you put it right here, okay, going into the wobble, and what's going to happen? Well, I don't want to put that there. Let's just put this here. Let's just see, because you would enter right there because that exceeded it. Okay, and if you missed that one, then you got that one. But either way, let's say you got this one. That will get you the early entry, right? So you win faster, right? Well, winning faster sometimes just means losing faster, because that would be sitting right here. And look at this. Just let it play out. And there, you just lost again. Because I'm a little bit low on that. Your entry would have been right about there. Well, it lost anyway. See that? So there's another one. So we'll do this one. Pay attention to these things. Respect them, because they it's it's a powerful thing, and it causes a lot of people consternation when they're trying to learn to trade, but they don't see these things, or you see it and you go, well, it meant something the last time, but maybe it doesn't mean anything this time, and you go ahead and you think, well, I'm going to go ahead and jump in this trade, and I'm just a hoping and a praying that it's going to work out, but it doesn't. It doesn't. It does this for a reason. Okay. Let's see. We don't get another one for a while. I don't know if you're getting the picture yet, so I'm going to speed this up. See if we can get on down there. There we go. Let's get to 30 so that we get a new candle every 2 seconds. There we go. No entries, no opportunities. We got a little bit of a run, but it's going to exceed 6 candles, right? And once we go past 6 candles, we're not interested again. So there you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you got 8, 9 candles by now. And now it's beginning to run down, right? So we're going to slow it back down again. Okay, put this over here, move that out of the way. Let's get it going again. There we go. Okay, so we got a little bit of a run again. 1, 2, 3. That's a nice little run. We're looking for a reversal, right? There's your reversal candle. I think that's going to reverse. Is that going to reverse? Maybe it does. We'll see. Let's just wait. Be patient. Come on. There we go. I think this is the reversal candle. Slow it down. There we go. All right. So I think this is your reversal candle, but what's happening? Your run and your reversal are both in the wobble. Well, how about that? Well, if those are both in the wobble, your continuation is going to be in the wobble, isn't it? So there it is. It's in the wobble. You would have entered right there because it just barely exceeded. I'll move my green. See that? You can see that blue candle. It extended past the reversal candle. So you'd have entered right there. And then what's going to happen? You're going to lose. You're going to lose. Leave that thing alone. Respect it. See that? Boom. Right there. There's your loss. And if that's not good enough for you, I think it'll push up just a little bit higher. But if you can see that, I don't know if you can. It's going to depend on what you're looking at. If you're watching this on a telephone or something, you may not see it. But if you watch it on TV or a laptop, you can see that wick goes up and extends beyond the. I can go ahead and do that too. Change the color to a loss. And there you go. And there's your night. Because right after that, I think we're coming up on 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and put a vertical red line in here, because at 8 o'clock, I'm done. Okay. I don't stress. I'm not going to stress myself out over this thing, right? How do I do this? There we go. I give it a couple of hours a night. I get what I came for. And if I don't get anything, then I don't really lose. I haven't lost anything either. Okay. So at this point, I'm going, well, you know what? Tonight's pretty much over. So what I do at that point is I don't play with it anymore. And see, we're right back down here in this again. Remember, we came down here earlier. I said we pushed past the first brick wall. Darn it. We pushed past the first brick wall. That should go up some. Sorry about this, guys. I moved that out of the way. There we go. We pushed past this first brick wall, and then we came down here and we hit it again. And then over here, boom, we didn't hit it again until way over here. Now I want to show you something. Okay. This is how the night went. Okay. I didn't take any trades. What I want to do now is I'm going to take this off of the screen, and I want to show you something. All right. So we don't have any indicators on the screen here. We can get rid of that red line because it didn't go back up there. All right. Are you guys familiar with the MACD? Because if you're familiar with the MACD, this is a night when the MACD would have benefited you. So we will go down here. Remember, I showed you in a previous session the RSI Bollinger Band extremes, right? And then you take the reversal when the price action crosses the SMA, right? So if that's a trade you're going to take, it doesn't occur every night. Obviously, it didn't occur this night either. Okay, excuse me. But no trade works every night. Okay, you're just going to have to decide what you're going to trade. If I put the MACD on here, okay, and if let's see, we don't even need the RSI. I'll take the RSI out so that there's not so much on here that it's confusing you. Let's see if I remove that. Yeah, apply. There we go. Let's focus the MACD. Come on now. Where are you? There it is. Okay. All right. So the MACD, I forget what it's called. It's an acronym for something, but it's basically what the MACD is. You have oscillator. It's an oscillator also, just similar to the RSI. It has this white line. Now, I made it white. Yours might be blue, green, red, yellow, purple. Don't know. But I just made it white because it's easier for me to see. This white line that goes through the middle. It's called the zero line. When you are above the zero line, this white line, you want to trade down. When you are below the zero line, you want to trade up. When do you trade up or down? When the yellow line, the MACD, crosses what's called the signal line. I made it blue. Yours may be green and purple, red and yellow, whatever, okay? But you'll have one line that is the MACD. It crosses from below the zero line. It crosses the signal line at this point. When it does, it crosses here, and that would be, you can line, that's why I use the crosshairs. It actually crossed. You know what, I can get rid of these things too, because these, well, they may not matter. I'm gonna leave them on there. When this candle here, this big one here, right, finishes, that's when you will enter, because that's when the MACD completes its cross of the signal. When it does, you can take it up for what looks like 25, maybe 50, maybe 75 ticks before that thing closes. Okay. Now, there are some people who say that you just stay with the trade until the MACD comes back and touches the signal. I don't believe that, because I've looked at it, and when it comes back and touches, by that time you're in a losing position. Doggone it, you got in here. By the time the MACD comes back and touches it, you're in a negative position. You got to move your stop loss up, or your stop loss up, and capture some of that. Okay, so you're still below. It comes down, and it goes just below, the MACD goes just below the signal, and it crosses again. When does it cross? When this white candle completes. Okay. Once that happens, as long as you're below the zero line, you can trade up. So you can trade and take the run up. See that? As my crosshairs go up, you're trading up. Okay. Once you get up to the zero line, you're thinking about, okay, I'm going to probably need to be getting out of this, because now it's supposed to roll over. And it does. So somewhere up in here, you better take profit. But again, these zones that I have on here, they may be useful. As you can see, the first one, it tapped out. The second one, it tapped out. Maybe that's something you would be looking at if you're trading the MACD. You can perhaps use these zones on here that I've recognized. Now, again, when using the zero line as your decider, when the MACD crosses below the signal and you are above the zero line, looking down here at the MACD indicator, right? When it crosses, you can then take it down. But when it crosses right here where you would have entered this trade, okay? Or where this trade would have won. That's when you would have entered. You get a little bit of a rundown. You probably get stopped out somewhere in here, so you don't get much of a run, but you get something nonetheless. Again, you are below the zero line again down here. When you're below and it crosses and goes up, okay, you can take it up. Now, no indicator, and you can see this oscillating back and forth. You see it cross here, you take it up. Well, really, by the time it crosses, yeah, you're done. If you take this long candle when it crosses, you're done. You're going to lose money, because you're going to take the cross. It's not going to exceed the wobble, and it's going to roll over, and you're going to die out. Okay, but then it rolls over again, and then there's your cross. Take it here. You don't get much, but at least maybe you get something. Now, I don't believe that it is good enough to use an indicator all alone. With something like this, I would strongly urge you to consider, if you're going to do this, if I were going to do this, I would have the EMA, either the EMA or the SMA. The EMA is a little bit more aggressive than the SMA. So if I'm looking at this, okay, we'll go right back to where we started, okay? When this first one crossed here, right, I will also be looking to see if I'm above the EMA. If it crosses and I'm below the EMA, I'm probably not taking it. But it is above, so you take it. It is below, so you take it. You can take it down. I wouldn't probably do that, because it doesn't cross very much, but it goes right back up above the EMA. Take this one, not the first one. Take the second one. It's just a confirmation that you're going up, and then you can write that up. Same thing here. Okay, it's crossing over. Didn't mean to do that. Where does it cross? And you're below at the same time. You don't get in. Same place, right? But if you are trading this, it's not going to be this way every night. Okay, here you got entry after entry, but in this 2-hour span, really you only had one good entry here and another good entry here. One going up here, and then the other one going up here, because if you take this down, you get stopped right out. This one here, you take it up, you get a nice little run. This one, you're going down, you don't really get in until here. And what happens? It comes right back and knocks you right out of the trade. Maybe you can pick up 25 ticks or so, right? But you got to follow pretty close. In trading the MACD, you don't follow close. You kind of lag back, because you're trying to get those runs. That's why people take it, because they can get runs like this right here and runs like this one here. But here, you're probably going to get stopped out, okay? If you don't get stopped out, you can get a little bit more. Here, if you take this one, you're not going anywhere. It's going to fall off, and you're going to lose. Typically, with when you're trading the MACD, you're probably going to have more than 25 tick stop loss. So you're probably going to lose more than 25 ticks here. But either way, that's just something that you can do to try and trade the MACD should you decide to do so. Okay, but that's just how that thing works. If you're gonna play with it, okay, if you're gonna play with it. But on a night like this, there just aren't a lot of trade opportunities, and there are going to be those nights. You're going to have. I'm going to say you might have as much as one night a week where you just don't have a lot of trade opportunities. That's why I say over the course of an extended period of time, whether you're looking at a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is, you're probably only going to average about 2 opportunities per night. That's about it. Okay, you're not going to get a whole bunch, but 2 is good enough as you build your trade value, right? Don't get in a hurry. Don't try to jump in, after you make one trade. Make sure that you know what you're doing. Begin to look at over time how the price action is acting, okay? Because if you go and you look back at your trade nights, you're going to see this happening, okay? Where the market comes down and it sort of wobbles in a place, and then it's going to move on. And when it comes back to that same place, it's going to wobble again, and then it comes back and it wobbles again. And here I would not have. Reason I didn't take this is because we're right back in the wobble. We came down, we pulled up. Okay, we're wobbling again. It just so happens this particular one, it went on through. Fine, okay. I'm just going to have to live with not having this trade. But the thing is, when I got right back in it, it wobbled again over here, okay. And so I'm not taking that. It's just the way it is, okay. That night I didn't get very much. The night before, you know what? I think I had like 4 trades on the night. This is Monday night, I think. I think on Sunday night I had like 4 trades. So I wasn't really sweating it, right? And so it is the accumulation of trades over time, not you trying to make enough money in one night to put your kids through college, because that's just not going to happen. And if you try it, all you're going to end up doing is losing all your money and making your life miserable. And I don't want to see you do that, right? I want to see you do well. I want to see you trade. I want to see you make money. I want to see everybody make money. And why not? Because, hey, this is Night Trade, and that's what we do. So anyway, that's the wobble, guys. Look for it. You got to practice it. Even I miss it sometimes. I've gotten pretty good. I won't say really good. I've gotten okay at it. I don't want to, put myself out there like that. But I've gotten okay at it, and it seems to be working for me. So practice that. Look for that little thing there in the market. Okay, when it does that, then it's telling you something. Look for brick walls in the market. Okay, if it rushes down, boom, and turns around and goes back up, hits another spot, look for both of those. Because sometimes in a given night, it'll just trade within those 2 spaces right there. I'm sitting on my couch, guys. I'm relaxing. This is actually where I trade. Sitting on the couch, maybe have something on TV. Been watching a lot of Coco. What's her name? Coco Golf play. Watching some of her old matches, right? But I'll just sit here and chill. So, if it's wobbling, if it's trading between these zones or on a night like this, I'm not sweating it. I'm just watching it. Okay, it's not doing anything. So, I can look and see, I got 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes before anything can happen. So I'm not worried. And it took me a little while to get that, because I played with all those other things, and now I'm kind of shell shocked. I'm carrying all that baggage from all those bad trades, but I'm not making those anymore. And I'm sharing with you how I got there and what I have found that allows me to not have all of that consternation. Anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys because I won't be doing a weekend review. I'm going to get out of here in a minute, but I just want to share this with you because I think it's important. Actually, I think it's probably more important than me doing a weekend review, because you're going to see this week in and week out, night in and night out. And I just think that the better you get at this, the better off you're going to be. Thanks for joining me. This is Night Trade. I'm Steve. I'll see you in the next one.